I'm going with a positive mindset. If it ends up being negative, at least I've been positive for the whole of my pregnancy.
Do you feel the pressure to represent motherhood in a certain way?
2 years ago, if you'd told me that would have been an exchange that I would have had with my child, I'd been like, nah, you've got the wrong person.
People love to give you their opinion and their advice.
Yes.
Their unsolicited advice.
Why would I be ashamed of that?
You're a bit like me. I think like getting to be a parent, be like a kid again. Oh, you can enjoy it. Like you don't realise it's going to be so lovely. But I know that's really annoying to hear.
No, it's not.
But it's so
not.
quick.
I didn't think I'd be this mum, but I am.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome back to our podcast, What They Don't Tell You.
But we will.
Yes, and today we are so excited to be joined by a former Love Islander, say new mum, but her son's actually a toddler, and total straight talker. Welcome, Amy Hart.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm literally obsessed with your house, with everything, with you two. I'm just obsessed.
Oh, thank you
Everything's
so much.
got a price.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, just got back from my holidays, just trying to get back into life before my life goes crazy again once Love Island starts.
Yeah. And like all the commitments you're doing.
Podcast and After Sun. So yeah, it's all a bit full on.
Very
busy.
With a 2-year-old.
With a 2-year-old.
In tow as well. Yeah, Stanley.
Stanley.
Right?
So yeah, he was 2 in March. And yeah, it's just gone so quickly, but also it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I just love it so much.
Oh, okay. We've got so many questions to ask you. So first up, what's one thing no one told you about becoming a new mum?
How boring winding is.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'd
My
say
job.
that is like literally my the bane of my life, because I was just like, this is so boring. And why is there like, I was quite prepared to be a mum because I'd been around loads of kids. We've got that later, but that's the one thing that I didn't know. And it sounds really trivial, but just so much of my life being spent winding.
Yeah. No one really tells you like how big a part that's going to be. You think about feeding.
Yeah.
But then you don't think about the winding.
No.
And sometimes
and
it takes the same amount.
In the end, I used to be like, actually, do you know what? I've been doing this for 40 minutes now. You're clearly not going to burp. You can just go back to bed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Amy, give us your mum foul moments or your best mum foul.
So I love a contact nap, but my favourite kind of contact nap is when I'm asleep as well.
What's a contact nap?
Sorry.
Asleep, like when the baby's asleep on you. And obviously when they're like really tiny, you can't go to sleep. But when I worked out, like when he was a bit older, I had a thing where as long as he was like on my chest, had his head to the side, I could interlock my fingers around the back, and Sam would always be in the room as well. So I'd have a nice contact nap. Lovely. We'd always get a bit sweaty, but it's just that bonding. It's that lovely bonding, our sweat mixing together. I had a spray tan and got home from my spray tan, and it was all dry, and Sandy needed a nap, and I was really tired as well. So I was like, oh, we're going to have a nap together. So we went to sleep, and he put his hand, and I had like a black t-shirt. I had like a black vest top on. So I sort of didn't really think about the spray tan, and he put his hand down my top, and he obviously had his head to the side, and when we woke up, he had fake tan on his face
brilliant.
and fake tan on his hand.
Little baby Donald Trump.
Brilliant.
Like, literally, but like brown, because I hadn't showered it off yet, so
Yeah,
it wasn't
so
even like orange, it was
that is
like
best.
brown. Like,
Brilliant.
so little tanned baby.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. It's funny how they do like to like sleep with their hand like in though, don't they?
And bear in mind, I did a token effort towards combi feeding for like 9 weeks, and a lot of it was bottles. I always said that breastfeeding was starters, snacks and sides. And desserts.
Okay,
So the bottle was always the main meal.
Yeah.
And like a little bit before, a little bit after, a little bit between feeds, but the bottle was always the main event. So yes, it wasn't even like he was going for like anything there really.
Yeah. That's quite good. At least you like made the effort though to like keep it up, like both of them alongside. Did you find it hard in the beginning, like the feeding side of it?
Yeah, when we were in hospital, I was trying to, and he wouldn't latch, and different midwives. We were in hospital for 5 days, and different midwives would come in and say, right, we're going to try this now, and I'd be like, we've already tried that, and in the end they said like, okay, we're going to pump, feed in with a bottle, and then you haven't produced enough, so we're going to top up with formula. And the amount of messages I got saying like, I am devastated for you that you were given that advice. That's so sad. I'm like, that was literally the best thing ever, because it meant we could do the shift work.
Yeah.
Because I could sleep, and I could sleep for 7 hours a night.
Yeah.
Like that is that was always my priority. It was like, how can I get the most sleep?
Yeah.
Which I know shouldn't be a priority when you have a baby, but
Oh no, but I think you need to, like, you're literally
Yeah.
healing and
Yeah,
recovering and everything.
exactly.
And then actually if it takes the pressure off and you're still,
Yeah.
trying.
And also he was such a hungry baby.
Mm.
And, by sort of like 7-8 weeks, he was doing 7-ounce bottles. And it was like 9
Wow.
ounces by the time he was 3 months.
Yeah.
And it would literally get to like 2 hours, 45 minutes, and he'd start to get a bit like antsy for his next bottle. And everyone again said I was overfeeding him. You can't actually overfeed a baby because their stomachs are only a certain size.
Yeah.
But, so everyone was saying I was overfeeding him and that, he was going to have issues when he got older. He is now perfectly proportioned, same percentile for height and weight. And I'm like, so I was right. So I think next time I have a baby, I will just not take any notice of anyone and just be like, I know what I'm doing.
That's a good bit of advice anyway, isn't it? I think you soon learn, don't you?
Yeah, there's so much pressure, like when you're a new mum, and people love to give you their opinion and their advice.
Yes.
Their unsolicited advice.
So I had the opposite. My mum and my nan used to say, I'm not telling you how to be a mum. I'm like, no, tell me.
Oh, no, I actually
Tell me. Like, tell me. If there's something that I'm not doing that you think I should be doing, you need to tell me.
Yeah, please let me know. Yeah.
It's something really fundamental.
Yeah. And did like becoming a new mum live up to your expectations or what you thought it was going to be like?
So I'd say there's only 2 things that are different to how I imagined it. And I'll talk about them in a minute. But I think I am the eldest of my cousins, and my youngest cousin is 14 years younger than me. And I've always been very close to my nan, and my nan did childcare for all 6 of us. So when I would leave school at 3:00 and then go straight to her house and help look after him. My mum and dad are in a big group of friends that we call the Famalam, because it's like basically family. They're all my aunties and uncles and stuff. And my mum and dad had their kids in their early 20s. All their friends got their careers first and had them in their 30s and 40s. So again, I was the eldest, helped with the babies, then ended up babysitting them all. Because of the job that I used to do, flying, and the hobbies that I have, theatre, I've got friends of all different ages. So again, 10 years before I was having kids, all my friends were having kids. I have a really good long-term memory. So everything they've ever told me about having kids, I remembered.
Taken in.
Yeah.
And I went in with a really positive mindset. And everyone used to message me and say, I can't wait to see how this pans out when you realise it's not all sunshine and rainbows and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm going with a positive mindset. If it ends up being negative, at least I've been positive for the whole of my pregnancy. And it actually ended up being amazing. So all of that, like, it was exactly how I thought it would be, even better. The 2 things that and we laugh about it, is little side story. On our recent holiday, Stanley slept on a sofa bed with a bed rail. At home, he's in a cot because it doubles up as a playpen when needed. And the other night, he said to me, Mummy, I want to sleep in this bed, because we've got the IKEA day bed in his nursery. I want to sleep in this bed. I want to sleep in this bed. I said, okay, darling, you can if you want to. So I put him in, padded it out with pillows, and I knew that once he fell asleep, I'd transfer him back to his cot. So 5 minutes later, Mummy, I don't like this bed. I went in and I was like, okay, darling, you don't have to. Gave him a cuddle, gave him a kiss, was like, I'm so proud of you for trying. I'm so proud of you for not climbing out and asking for help. You can sleep back in your cot and we'll try again when you're bigger. 2 years ago, if you'd told me that would have been an exchange that I would have had with my child, I'd been like, nah, you've got the wrong person. That is very namby-pamby, new age parenting, and that's just not me. I'm very old school. So like this whole not, obviously I'm a gentle parent, but the whole all the positive affirmations and stuff, I didn't think that I would be like that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, when all my friends started doing Elf on the Shelf and stuff, I was like, we used to just have Father Christmas and that was fine. What even was the Easter Bunny? I'm not going to get into all of that consumerism, but
You're there.
Inspired by yourself alone.
No.
I was about to say.
I am a magic
sorry.
mum, and I want to be a magic mum, and I feel like you are the ultimate magic mum, and it's my little fangirl moment of I take so much inspiration from you. Like when I was getting ideas to pass on to my elf, I watched all of your videos on YouTube, and I love your book as well. And I just think, like I say, you are such a magic mum, and like that's my goal in life, because I understand that in the grand span of my life, like this like sort of season of having like young kids is going to be such a small I think that's why I want like 10 kids, just to prolong it for as long as I can.
That's why I wanted.
And it's such a small like time of my life. And I think, people say like, oh God, when old people like look in your pram and want to talk to you about your baby and stuff, I'm like, it's because it was such a small season of their life and they know how magical it is.
So special.
So I am now, staying up till 2:00 in the morning at Easter, setting up the lounge.
That is
do you know what I
literally,
mean?
yeah.
And that's only balance. That's because I've been out with my friends till midnight. That's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I
yeah,
felt.
yeah.
You're drunk. It'd only take 10
And, like,
minutes if you were sober.
Yeah. And like, anything I could do. Like, we went to see the Wiggles recently, and we'd booked tickets in the pre-sale. And so we had all our tickets booked for the Saturday, and then I got invited to go on the Friday. And I said to my best friend, like, I know it's excessive, but the kids do love the Wiggles. So I think we drove about 10 hours over that weekend to see the
my
Wiggles
God.
twice.
Just
Oh, is
for
it
them to
different?
have that,
Just for them
like,
to have
moment
that moment of seeing
yeah.
the Wiggle, of like meeting the Wiggles as well. And I was like, I didn't think I'd be this mum, but I am.
But I'm in. I'm completely
I'm in.
Not going to let them have an iPad. Was you one of those?
I always said iPads for planes, trains and cars.
Yeah.
I was fine with that. But look, we're learning all the time. Like, we don't know. I just think, like, we watch telly as kids.
Oh my God,
and
same, yeah.
so, like, Fireman Sam, Stanley watches the old one with my dad.
Aw.
So, like, my dad loves telly, and he's a massive kid, and he loves all the old cartoons. And that's like been my dad's like real joy. Is like, I'll go around and Stanley's sitting watching the Hair Bear Bunch, like from like the 1960s, 1970s,
it,
because
yeah.
my dad loves watching that with him. So I'm not anti telly at all.
No.
No,
And like, I love, again, like, over magical mum, like, at Easter, I go online and find out what the Easter episodes of Pepper are and what the Easter episodes of Bluey are.
So-
And what, and like, I like to watch the Christmas episodes, and I'll watch the summer episodes and stuff. I love, like, all of that.
That's so cute. It's so nice that you are like this really thoughtful mum. I know you said you didn't
And she thought
expect
she
to
wouldn't
be.
be, yeah.
But now that we're kind of through it, obviously our youngest is 8, our eldest is a teenager now. Now we're through it. We're that annoying, like those annoying people that say, "Oh, you can enjoy it. Like, you don't realize it's going to be so lovely." But I know that's really annoying to hear.
No, it's not.
But it
it's
goes so
not.
quick.
And this thing, I think we're so conditioned now through social media to, like, you know what you're doing. Don't listen to anyone else. The older not the older generation, but
Yeah.
the old generation, they don't know what they're talking about. It was different in their time, you know, like, ignore people. It's all about you and your little family. And I don't agree. I'm like, I want all the different, like, viewpoints. I want all the different sort of opinions, advice. I might not take all of it, but I want the ideas.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Talking of being online, though, I mean, obviously, Emily documented probably not the early days of ours, but you've obviously been online before you had a baby. Do you feel the pressure to represent motherhood in a certain way?
Oh, it's really hard because I am not a mum. I didn't come to influencing as a mum.
Yeah.
I was an influencer before.
Yeah.
So I am sharing my life, as I always have, but I now have a child, within my, and I hate this word because, you know, namby-pamby, new age parenting, within my boundaries. And I hate it, but
You used it.
I used
you
it.
said
My dad would be like, more nonsense.
Yeah.
But, like, sort of my boundaries are, my sort of guiding light is, if my husband or my mum and dad or one of my friends put this of me on social media, how would I feel? So I do no crying, no tantrums, no bath, no when he starts potty training, no potty pictures. No medical stuff unless it's obviously quite, like when he had really bad problems with his skin, it was quite obvious and a lot of people helped us.
Potentially
So
helpful
then
as well for...
I shared what we'd done to help others. And I still get messages now like, who was the dermatologist you saw? Like, I'm at the end of my tether with my little boy's skin. I was like, yeah, had that. Phoned Sam at the gym and couldn't speak because I was crying. So he came home. So I don't share anything medical. Safety wise, like, you know, if Stanley's like at his grandparents' the weekend, like he's at Sam's parents' the weekend this weekend, I'll never be like, I've got a weekend to myself this weekend because Stanley's at his grandparents.
Yeah.
And I'm on my own because my safety, Stanley's safety. And I don't share the ins and outs of our childcare setup. I've never shied away from the fact that I've had childcare the whole time. I just don't go into details. I don't pretend I don't have it like some people do, but I have it. But I don't go into details because, again, that's his safety. He's away from me. It's funny though, because someone commented on my my Mother's Day post saying, you don't deserve a present because your mum raises Stanley. I'm like, she has him a grand total of 1 day a week.
Yeah,
so
that's
if that's
pretty
raising
normal.
him, I am overachieving.
Yeah.
Because no one's grandparents ever helped.
Exactly. So that's sort of my boundaries. But then I get people saying, well, you don't show your son crying, so you're not showing the real motherhood.
No, but then if you
and
showed him, they'd have someone else
Exactly.
saying...
And I'm like, well, that's fine. Like, this is...
he's crying. I must get my camera. I must
said,
start
that's-
filming them.
Yeah,
I
that's not
mean,
really what I do.
surely that's neglect.
You just share the nice side. I'm like, well, actually, I do. I'm really lucky that we are having a nice time.
Yeah.
It might
Yeah.
change
And
when
you're
he's a teenager,
enjoying it,
but
yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. And, I don't show him crying. I don't show anything like that because I just don't want to. And it's things like when he was a baby, so he slept through the night for 7 weeks. Very lucky. Don't know how it happened. We've got Velux blinds in our room. So I woke up one day and looked at my phone and it was 8:30 and I was like, oh, okay. But he ended up getting into a routine of 11 till 11, then it was 9:30 till 9:30 and then it sort of settled at 8:30 to 8:30. People are like, you need to tell people that it's actually not normal for babies to sleep through the night and it's very normal. Now, all of
Shame
my
on you.
friends, and I'm like, again, like, what am I supposed to cover? All avenues,
Yeah,
all of them.
you can't.
It's not like, nobody wants to sit through all those stories. But all of my friends who have bad sleepers say, if I went on your Instagram at 3:00 in the morning and it was you in the daytime saying, well, yeah, Stanley's sleeping 8:30 to 8:30, but if your baby doesn't sleep through the night, don't worry, it's very,
it's
very
like
normal.
Yeah.
They were like, I've been your best friend for 20 years and I would unfollow you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
It is
exactly.
patronising. Yeah.
That would be really quite annoying if you did that.
I mean, you were already annoying, but then to rub it in their face and say like, oh, but if you're struggling.
So
I'm here for you.
I'm just sharing my journey and the way
Yeah.
that I'm doing motherhood, and I'm not telling anyone they have to do the same. So again, one of the biggest amount of abuse I've ever got was before Stanley was born when I made a shepherd's pie, and I can't believe that like this time next year I'll be making the shepherd's pie and blitzing up half of it for him to eat, or the baby to eat. 'Cause, he was. You have to do baby-led weaning now.
Oh, God.
Didn't do baby-led weaning. My child eats with a spoon and fork. He's eaten really well with a spoon since he was like...
I did go for a job
Yeah.
interview once and they said, did you do baby-led
I know,
weaning?
yeah.
So I didn't get the job.
Yeah,
It was tragic.
Yeah, very sad. Were you breastfed?
Yeah.
Because you've got better brain power if you have.
Yeah.
So
But I feel like you shouldn't even... Like, he sleeps 8:30 to 8:30, which is amazing. But then it is also probably down to your routine and things you have done as well. Obviously, he's doing well and he's a great baby, nice and easy. But then also, I don't think that you should not take a little bit of credit for that.
I always said, you've got baby-led weaning. I've done Stanley-led living, SLL.
Yeah.
And that is, if you're tired, you can go to sleep. And if you're not tired, you don't have to go to sleep. And if you're asleep, I'm not going to wake, unless we're going to a hospital appointment or a party, I'm not going to wake you up unless you need to be woken up. And if you're hungry, you can eat. And if you're not hungry, you don't have to eat.
Yeah.
And if you want to sit on the sofa and watch telly, you can. If you want to play, we could play. Like,
Yeah, I love that. That's really nice. So does he ever have tantrums? And a random question, has the Love Island drama that you experienced weirdly prepared you for tantrums or drama?
I mean, I grew up in a theatre company, so I was already prepared for that. We're quite lucky, but again, is this because I'm a weird overcompensating mum in that, like my friends say, if I give her the wrong colour bowl, she'll just throw it. Whereas I'm like, so Stanley, your pasta is nearly ready. So we've got the Mickey Mouse bowl, we've got the Paw Patrol bowl, we've got the Peppa Pig bowl, we've got the one that's got the Mickey. Do you remember you went on that ride at Disney? That's got the Pirates of the Caribbean ride on it. You really like that ride? And we've got this bowl, and we've got this bowl, we've got the Christmas bowl as well. Which bowl would you like to have your pasta in? Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't have a tantrum because of that.
But because he makes the decision for himself.
Yeah.
So his main tantrum is he's obsessed with darts. And in
Darts? Oh, God.
so in our media wall, we have a dartboard, and we have the media wall built like 3 weeks before he was born. So his whole...
As you do for a newborn baby.
Babyhood. I mean, my husband's very good, so we've never had any in the telly or anything.
Yeah.
So his whole babyhood, he's just watched Sam. So by the age of like 6 months, he could like overarm throw a ball. You could sit and play so he'd throw it to me and I'd roll it back to him, and he'd throw it to me when he was 6 months old because he's just watched Sam.
Real darts,
so then, real dart. No, just a ball for that point. Then we got him a Velcro dartboard as soon as he could stand up. And then we updated it to a magnetic dartboard when he was, I think, just at this Christmas.
Love it.
But his main tantrum anywhere is because he can't go on Sam's dartboard. So he will lay on the floor going, Daddy darts, Daddy darts.
darts.
We're like, I don't know what we're going to do because he's just about to be able to reach the handle to open it.
Yeah.
At the moment, the dartboard's broken. So anyone we met the Wiggles, the kids club staff
Shows
on the
about
ship.
darts.
My daddy broke the dartboard. My daddy broke the dartboard. My daddy plays darts. My daddy broke the dartboard. The Wiggles are going,
love
Daddy
that.
plays darts? Oh my God, that's amazing.
Brilliant.
And so literally darts is the tantrum. If we're out in a pub, he's fine until he sees the dartboard. Then he'll start kicking off because he can't play on the dartboard.
Oh, so he loves it.
So yeah, that's his main tantrum is that he
Love
can't
it.
play darts.
Yeah.
But he's actually quite chilled. He's always been really chilled. So he doesn't have that many. I mean, normal ones. But we don't do, like, some of my friends are absolutely amazing. Like, they're amazing mums and they do the whole, like...
I thought you said amazing at darts.
Yeah, that too. And they talk about, like, you know, we've had big feelings and we talk about her feelings and stuff and all this. I don't really do that with Stanley because he'll have a tantrum, but it'll be over before you've even realised it's begun. And then he's forgotten about it. So then I think if I brought it up again, like, okay, so you've had some big feelings.
Yeah,
he'd
you're
be like,
revisiting it.
oh yeah,
You're still on about that?
I forgot I'm not allowed to play on the dartboard. Let's bring it up again. So he's quite chilled.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think our eldest has ever had a tantrum. Has he?
No.
Fraser?
No, I feel
Ever
like he
had
did
a
on a recent
tantrum?
holiday. That's the first time. He was trying to use something, wasn't he? What was it?
Fell over skiing.
Oh, yeah, skiing. Yeah.
He did it.
He couldn't get back on his feet. No, and he was like throwing the skis, and I was laughing. I was like, never seen him have a tantrum. And I tried to mention it to him, and he just gave me the look of death. Do you find people treat you differently now? You're Amy Hart, the mum, as opposed to, sorry to say, Amy Hart from Love Island.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know. I feel like because being me is my job, and I would say like Amy Hart from Love Island is, and people say like, oh yeah, you know, still like trying to milk all of Love Island. I'm like, Love Island is the biggest reality show like of our lifetime.
Yeah.
I was on potentially, some would say, not my words, the words of others, the most iconic season.
I think
and
so.
I still work with the brand now. I'm still like a sort of figure, not, I don't know, a figurehead, but I'm a presenter for the brand.
Yeah.
Like, why would I be ashamed of that? Like, that is, I'm so proud to be Amy from Love Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll always get called the biggest thing you've done. And I don't know whether I would, or there's anything I'll do that's bigger than that. So, you know, I'm very proud of that. You know, when you're here, the only way is down. So because that's my job, and I sort of didn't have any maternity leave, I've talked to Woes Me a lot about that, but I love it as well. I didn't have maternity leave, so I never had the chance to lose myself, and I've never really become like Amy Hart, the mum. I'm sort of Amy Hart from Love Island who happens to have a child.
Yeah. That's
If
so
that makes
true.
sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, we live down in Worthing, so I'm quite far removed from it. So it's not like I'm bringing, I have work and I have my home life. They're two very separate things. And it's like, I think if I lived in London, I might occasionally, like, you know, if I'm stuck for childcare or whatever, bring him to work with me. And to be fair, I have done that. And my lovely agent and, you know, my friends will come and walk him around the block or take him to the park and stuff. But my lives are very separate. But I think I managed to blend them well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So people don't tend to treat me differently, but people have been really helpful. And, you know, we'll always say, you know, I know Amy's got Stanley, so, you know, if she needs to bring him with her or, you know, if there's anything we can do to help her, people are really helpful in that way.
Yeah. It's so nice that you can like carry on being like busy working mum and juggle, you know, everything.
And the thing is with our job, you know, that, you know, if it'd be very nice to have a year's paternity leave sounds amazing.
Yeah.
However, coming back in a year,
You're like, remember me?
remember me? It's like, oh yeah, sorry, the contract you had's actually gone to someone else now. People who follow your life are actually following someone else now. You have to keep that up. And I think, you know, but the positive is that our job is so flexible and, you know, I've been able to do so much stuff with Stanley.
Yeah.
You know, I got to meet the Wiggles. He got to meet the Wiggles, sorry. I was with the Wiggles. It was more exciting for me, I think.
Twice.
I only met them once, sadly. But do you know what? I literally felt like an A-list celebrity because the Wiggles come through the audience and because they'd met us the day before, they'd be like, Stanley! And I was
Remembered
like,
you.
oh my God,
It's like,
the Wiggles remember
that's
us.
it. Oh my God. But also you would have helped so many mums that you won't have even realised it, but from sharing your experiences online.
And do you know what I
we
mean?
will
That's what
help
people say. Well,
mums.
just don't share anything. If you don't like the backlash, don't share anything. But then, you know, not everyone has. Like I said, I was so lucky. I had such a great network that I've had all that advice and experience and stuff. And we were at a Christmas lights thing and a couple came up to us and I could see their baby was like similar age to Stanley. And they're like, thank you so much. We don't have any friends with kids. And like every time I don't know how to do something, my husband's like, go and see what Amy's done. And he came over and was like, oh my God, she thanked you. Like, so yeah, I mean, it's a real privilege to have, but I think also it's it's quite a responsibility as well. I've always tried, even before I had Stanley, to try and be like a responsible influencer, because I mean, I probably still do now, but have like young people following me and try and pick the jobs that I do, like, and
to suit that. And do you think becoming a mum, like for us when we had children, obviously it like rocked our foundations as a couple.
Totally.
So didn't it? That was like such a challenge.
Yeah.
And like you're relearning everything. So did it, like, were you surprised at how it affected your relationship or?
So Sam and I were relatively new when we had Stanley. So Stanley was born at the beginning of March, and at the end of April we celebrated our 2 years since our first date.
Okay.
So we were
Do you think he's the one?
Well,
yeah,
you
I think
know.
So, yeah. We were still quite new, and I think if we'd had 10 years or 5 years of being together, just the two of us, and sort of building that life together, I think it would have been then quite rocky when we had a baby, because it's like that's what we've known. Whereas we were still sort of, Sam moved in with us in like the April, and we got pregnant, as in with us, as in me and my best friend Luke.
I was going to say, what's going on here?
Me and my best friend Luke, basically. Very quick version is I lived at home. I bought a house. Mum didn't want me to live on my own. So we railroaded my best friend Luke into giving up his flat for him to move in with me.
Right.
After we moved in, like a week later, went on my first date with Sam, and he said,
Poor
right, so
Luke.
you've met the love of your life now. I said, no, stay, it's fine. This is probably not even going to work out.
Yeah.
So then Sam moved in with us, and he said, do you want me to leave? And we said, no, we love living all here together. We're not going to have children for years anyway, don't worry. Then you can move out. Literally 2 months later, we got pregnant. So Luke ended up moving with my mum and dad for 14 months. So he's
been
their third
passed
child.
around.
Yeah. So he moved in with me and Luke. And then we got pregnant, like 2 months later. So again, we were sort of navigating, because my work is here, there and everywhere. He has his own life. He has his friends. I have my friends. And, we both own our own businesses and stuff. So we never had that like sort of normal life together. So we're sort of learning as we go. We're still learning as we go now.
You don't know any different.
No.
Right?
And I think the best thing about us being in a new relationship is we really prioritise our time together. Like, we love spending time as a family. We love doing our holidays with Stanley. We adore Stanley, but we also know that we were a couple before.
Yeah.
And I think we went out on our first date night when he was born 4 weeks old, because my mum was busy the next 3 Saturdays. So she was like, it's tonight or it's in 3 weeks. Like, what do you want to do? So we're like, okay, tonight.
Cheers, Mum.
And I'm really lucky that we're both on the same page with that. So, I said to Sam, oh, can we get Joe's Burgers on Friday night? I'm really craving a Joe's Burger because I'm being very good at the moment. And he was like, yeah, or we could see if we could get a babysitter and see if we can go for a date night, because obviously we're not going to see each other for the next 8 weeks. And when I did All Stars, every Saturday night we would get a babysitter, we would go to Pilates and then get a takeaway and sit in the car and chat for like an hour. And that is like the best time. I think our relationship hasn't changed that much, but that's because we didn't have much of a foundation to start with.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally. To be fair, thinking about it, it's couples that have been together. When you say someone's like getting older, they should have kids, and you're like, it must be such a shock if you're like 20 years, 10, 15 years into a relationship and you have a child.
I think it's so important having that time together, and hopefully you're going to be a couple for long after your kids have grown up and moved out. So it is, you've got to put the work in. Like, I've seen like sort of the next generation up for us, my mum and dad's generation, people that have like stayed together for the kids, don't really like each other, don't spend a lot of time together, sort of one will put all their time into work, one will put all their time into the kids, and their kids move up and like leave, and they're like, oh, I've got to spend time with you now.
Oh. Smart
so
parents.
I think, we're very like we're very like conscious of, we want to make sure like our relationship is always like the best it can be, because if our relationship is amazing, then Stanley's childhood's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So we've got some quick fire questions for you. What is the last thing you Googled late at night?
I was Googling for Father's Day, which Nespresso machine makes the best flat white. Because I've run out of ideas.
What did Google say?
The one that's like 450 quid.
Of course it did.
I said, we'll probably spend less than that at Starbucks in a week.
Yeah, it's like getting a gift card.
Love that.
Current parenting hack that's actually working.
So I
doesn't have to be one of Emily's.
No, so I can't take credit for this. This is Sam, but it's still working and it makes our life a lot better. Sandy went through a little bit of like not a sleep regression, but a sleep resistance when I was doing All Stars. So Sam used to lay on the floor next to him and put his hand through the cot bar and hold his hand. Sam's got a bad back anyway. So for Christmas, I bought Stanley this giant teddy. So one night, Sam's back was really bad. And he was like, oh, Stanley, Big Bear says that he wants to have a sleepover with you. So he laid Big Bear next to the cot and shoved Big Bear's paw through
So he holds that.
the cot to hold his hand. Now, every night, me hold Big Bear's hand.
Oh,
that is
actually adorable.
It's the giant teddy. And my friends all work in like neonatal units and stuff, and they say about the hand-shaped beanbags. They're like, you have got, like, that's basically like you doing that.
Yeah, because you get put it on their backs or something, can't you?
Yeah.
We've all been there, crawling out of the bedroom, like trying to get them to sleep.
Big Bear stays all night.
Yeah,
I love that. That's such a
Been
good
replaced.
one. Oh my God, yeah. And what is the best unsolicited advice you've ever had?
Take the help that's given to you, because people are offering because they want to help, and if they're just saying it, they deserve to be punished for lying and saying things they don't mean.
That is brilliant. I love that.
Call their bluff.
So true. And what's one word to describe your life right now?
Content, I would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's so not what I was expecting, because you're doing a million different things all the time.
But
it's
I think,
but you're happy with it.
I always say, like, I can honestly hold my hands up and say, and I think the fact that I left shows that I did go on Love Island to find a boyfriend. When I was a kid, though, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a famous actress. Like, I want to be in the public eye. I loved magazines. I loved reading magazines and stuff, and seeing people like getting papped on the beach. I got papped through the bushes in Mallorca last week, and I
You're like, I made it.
I looked horrendous in the pictures, but I was like, oh my God, I'm like Katie Price. Like, this is amazing.
So cool.
I'm having my Katie Price moment. It's amazing. If you'd said to me, okay, when you're 32, you'll be married with a little boy, and you'll really, really like your husband as well. Because it's the thing, me and my husband always say we knew we'd get married, but we didn't think we'd marry someone that we got on so well with.
Aww.
Like, and
it does help, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, but so if you'd said to me, and also you'll be working in the entertainment industry and you'll be absolutely loving it, I'd be like, sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah.
So I feel very content, and I feel like, everything I've ever wanted has sort of come true. And it's the only way sort of up from here, in that, like, having more kids. And I think that people always say, what will you do once all of your like this is done? Because it's not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. And I think when I was single, that was quite like a scary prospect of like, oh God, what am I going to do and stuff. But I'm now like, oh my God, well, I love being a mum.
Yeah.
And, if it means that I've got more time.
Hang out with Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, amazing.
Yeah.
And I hope that, it keeps going. And I think that's what motivates me as well, is things like going to meet the Wiggles and getting to do really cool stuff like that for him. That's what sort of gets me up in the morning to go to work, because I'm like, actually, this job that I do that's amazing, that I love, gets him to have so many amazing opportunities. And if I can do that for him, like, what better?
You're a bit like me. I think like getting to be a parent is getting to be like
Emily.
a kid again. But don't you think that you're now living like childhood
literally
again through him?
It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Sorry, I talk so much.
No, I love it. No,
Right, shall I start recording?
We close every episode with one question, which is, what's one thing you wish you'd known before becoming a mum?
Oh, that it's really fun. Because I think I think it's actually gone now, but I think a couple of years ago there was a real sort of like trend on social media for real mum content to be really quite negative. And I sort of, you're like, oh my God, everyone literally like hates being a mum. It's so hard. Like, and it is hard at times, but I think it was also really magical and really fun, and it is the best thing ever. So I wish like I'd known that.
Oh, I love that, because you're right. It feels like, wine o'clock on Instagram and, all the struggles. And I used to think, well, it is actually amazing as well. That's why we all do it, and we keep doing it more and more and more.
It's like I follow a lot of Mormons on YouTube.
Oh my God, I love that.
And like, they obviously don't drink coffee and they don't drink wine. And before I had Stanley, and I don't drink coffee, and I never drink at home. I'm a binge drinker. I got drunk twice in 2023, and I was sick both times. But I used to follow them, and because of like everything I'd seen on social media and stuff, I used to think, how do you have 16 kids but you don't have coffee, you don't have wine?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not have a glass of wine at the end of the day? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, I mean, I've only got one. I'm sort of 15 down from the lady that I follow.
No way to go.
But it was made out to be such a negative thing. And I think it has sort of come full circle now. And I think we are back to like people, I think maybe COVID, where everything seemed quite like doom and gloom.
Yeah.
People do want to just share like the really positive things in their life. And it is a highlight reel. I know that. And I know we do need some realism, but like the sort of concept that I had of motherhood from social media was quite negative.
Yeah. Love that. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where can people, I mean, obviously you're on Instagram, but where can people see you, find out more?
So Instagram is Amy Hart XO. Amy Hart wasn't available. The girl is very active on Instagram. I've tried a few times to see if it's a defunct account yet. And Amy Hart on TikTok. And then I've got my podcast, Amy Hart's Mums Club, that comes out every Friday. And I'm doing After Sun and Love Island podcast as well.
Yeah, so you're
Amazing.
going into your busy season.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for having
on.
me.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching and for listening. We would love to have any of your comments and questions down below. And of course, we will link all of Amy's like social media in the description as well. And obviously, we'd love you to rate, review, follow, all the good stuff on like wherever you're listening or watching this podcast. I never know what to say. There's so many different like platforms.
Pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Consuming.
It's just consume it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys in our next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.